Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 46 of Future, and this one is titled A Blow Up. Oh, what a night, hey? Kiri groaned as he walked back into the kitchen after putting Ginny to bed later that night. The night had ended well. Soshi seemed happier, Ginny was happy, and the parents got to have a chat about the future of their kids. Had a chat with our popular little girl too, Kiri chuckled. I think she'll have a chat with the two boys tomorrow at school. She did something strange tonight, though, he said with a comical expression on his face. What did she do? You asked with an anticipatory giggle. She asked me to hold out my hand and then she went, okay, thank you, Daddy. It's the same as Soshi's? He let out a confused laugh. I have the hands of a 4-year-old? You gasped. Wait, she said your hands felt like his? Yeah, why? He chuckled. That means that she held his hand, right? You said, putting the pieces together. And she said she only holds Chi's hand, yes? Oh, Kiri said, catching on. Oh, okay, so she's not in love with Chi anymore? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but it's about to go down at school tomorrow if Chi finds out that she's been getting around holding hands. You laughed. What a little player, Kiri snorted playfully. I blame Kaminari's influence. He laughed. He's basically raised her as much as I did. The next morning at school, Ginny was pumped. She had a very serious face on and almost forgot to kiss her daddy goodbye. Oh, sorry, Daddy. I'm just thinking of the important things I need to do today, she said with confidence. And what's that, sweetheart? He asked. Make Soshi and Chi not fight over loving me and making us all friends, she said bluntly. It's so hard, Daddy, she added dramatically with an eye roll. Why do they both have to love me? Kiri stifled a laugh and raised an eyebrow. Well, my princess, it's because you are beautiful and lovely and kind, and it makes people want to love you, so remember to be kind and lovely when you're making them not fight, okay? You need to be the one in charge of both of them, Kiri said, kneeling down for the pep talk. Ginny rolled her eyes dramatically. Okay, she said in exasperation. I'll sort 'em out, she said, copying her daddy's words. Good girl, Kiri chuckled. I'll see you after school, okay? You can tell me all about it. Okay, Daddy, she said, kissing him on the cheek before running off. Kiri chuckled and stood up, turning to walk back to his car. Soshi was the first to spot Ginny as she entered the classroom, and he ran over to hug her. Hello, Ginny, he said brightly. Thank you for letting me hold your hand last night, he said happily with a little bounce up and down. What? A voice behind Ginny said. She spun around. Chi was standing there with his mouth open. Chi! She squealed. She was blushing, heart racing. Can I talk to you? Meet me in the tunnel at recess, Chi said coolly. Ginny waited impatiently for the recess bell to ring, her stomach churning with guilt. She kept stealing glances at Chi, but he refused to look at her. Meanwhile, Soshi kept turning around to throw love-struck glances at Ginny. He was dying to hold her hand again. The recess bell rang suddenly, and Ginny jumped. She stood up, ready to face Chi and everything he had to say. She saw Chi run for the door, and followed slowly after him. Soshi followed her too, a little way back, as she made her way to the tunnel. Chi disappeared inside the hole, and she swallowed thickly as she reached the tunnel entrance, crouching down to enter. It was dark inside, but she thought she could hear soft sobbing and sniffing. Chi? She called tenderly. Are you crying? There was no reply. Chi? She asked again as she crawled in. Soshi saw Chi enter the tunnel with Ginny following after, and his heart sank. Oh, are they going to hold hands again? His eyes welled up with tears. Why can't it be my turn to love Ginny? He stood frozen, unsure of what to do. Ginny blinked in the dim tunnel and tried to make out Chi's face as she crawled towards him. Why don't you love me anymore? He asked through heavy sobs as he tried to conceal his disappointment by burying his head into his knees as he sat hunched in the tunnel. Ginny's heart was breaking. She didn't think it would hurt him that bad, but I guess it had been their only special sign of love, and she had betrayed that. She almost caved until she remembered that she was supposed to tell Chi off for lying to her. You're a liar, pants on fire, she blurted out. Chi's head shot up and his tear-filled eyes met hers. What? You didn't tell me everything that happened yesterday, she continued. I do love you still, Chi, but you need to be nice to Soshi, and I'm going to love you both at the same time. Chi was about to object, but Ginny crawled closer and threw her arms around his neck and buried her face between her arms and his neck. Please don't fight any more about loving me, she whispered. Chi reached his arms around her and pulled her into him, letting his knees fall out of the way as he held her little body close to his. Ginny felt really fuzzy inside being held by Chi. This was the second time that she had felt a different feeling with him than with Soshi or anybody else. Just then Soshi arrived boldly at the end of the tunnel that Chi was closest to. He crouched down and looked in, crestfallen to see them hugging tightly in the darkness. Chi, I want to talk to you, he said sternly, his little voice coming out surprisingly strongly. No, Chi growled as he looked over and tightened his arms around Ginny. I won't let you take Ginny from me. Chi, stop it, Ginny barked, trying to pull back from his grasp. I won't let you go, Chi wailed. Soshi, help me, Ginny called, struggling desperately. Soshi crawled in and did his best to free Ginny and avoid any hits or kicks from Chi, who looked to be on the verge of activating his quirk. Oh dear, there's going to be a fight. Grab your pitchforks if you're on Soshi's side, grab your spades if you're on Chi's side, and I'll see you in the next chapter.